The great thing about Sundance has always been discovery. You know, discovering the great new filmmaker, the great actor, the great new talent. And it's always been that way. I mean, and it's one of my favorite festivals, and I try never to miss it. And I'm here every year and have been on and off. I miss every once in a while if I'm shooting, I can't make it. But generally, I'm here every year. And my habit is I had films in the festival we can talk about last year, obviously Polka King. But when I don't have a film like this year, I have a pretty crazy schedule because I do 4 or 5 a day, every day. I'm still doing midnight screenings. I'm a little old for that, but I still do it. I can get through it, the altitude. But anyway, to me, it's really, the great thing is, it's what keeps me in the business because always looking for greatness. And greatness can always be discovered here. It's like mining for gold. And there's always gold in these hills in Sundance each and every year. You look at the greatest filmmakers who have emerged from this festival. So I did start in '91. The first film I had here was an independent movie with New Line. And I've been coming ever since. And obviously I've seen Sundance evolve into what it is today, which is certainly one of the absolute foremost film festivals in the world. You know, truth is stranger than fiction. Hacksaw Ridge obviously speaks to that. The Polka King. Our next film is Chippendales, which Ben Stiller and Dev Patel are on board on, and it's an interesting project because it's also based on this true story of a man named Steve Banerjee, who came from dire poverty in India and made his way to Los Angeles in 1980, and it's a story about him escaping his dire situation, in fact, and he becomes a millionaire, founder of the first club exclusively for women. And 1980, there were no clubs for women to go to as men went to strip clubs. And it's the birth of Chippendales, based on this true story. But even though it has guys stripping and it's part of the story, the real heart of the story is, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of the perversion of the American dream thematically. The mob contract hits. It's one of the most amazing true stories, kind of along the lines of Boogie Nights in a way, very ensemble casting. Ben Stiller plays a choreographer who really made the show the success it became. Dev Patel, of course, plays the Steve Banerjee role. It's a Chinese production that I'm currently involved in, which starts shooting in April, and it's a movie that they brought me in to basically consult on. So it's a Mandarin language film. It's a new experience for me. I've been to China a few times, and so I brought in a screenwriter who is helping them shape the script, you know, with China being such a vibrant market, and reaching out to American producers to co-produce films with them and to kind of help them in the process of telling the story with kind of an American sensibility for the Chinese audience, interestingly enough. And there's some other business coming up that we'll be announcing with a number of other Chinese partners that we are about to endeavor to be in business with. So, you know, the global audience is what it's about today to a certain extent, which is going back to Chippendales. You know, everybody in the world knows Chippendales because it's kind of an IP. Nobody really knows the history or the story behind Chippendales. And so I think there's a great value in that commercially. And certainly women will flock to it as they did Magic Mike, but it's a very also film that'll appeal to the male audiences with the murders and the contract hits and the basic storytelling. So I have high expectations for that globally, a film like Chippendales. We're always thinking about, you know, the global market now, obviously, in the business.